Okay, today we're going to talk about modifying and weighting the 7-inch redfin from Cordell. This artificial has been around a long time. It's fallen out of favor in the last several years, however, but back in the late 1970s and early 80s, it was the hot plug for big striped bass, particularly on Cape Cod and Block Island. A lot of big fish were caught on this lure, thousands and thousands of pounds. For some reason, primarily due to the needlefish invasion in the mid-'80s, surfcasters stopped using the redfin. But modified and weighted correctly, this lure will catch a lot of fish. It continues to catch fish as of today. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to weight this and modify this lure. Excuse me, before you weight it, you have to have several items to facilitate the weighting and the modifying. Number one, you need a hypodermic needle and syringe. Now these things are very difficult to get. If you don't have one or can't get one, don't despair, because you can use other items to weight, to put the water into this hollow lure. Particularly a meat baster, which you can buy in any gourmet or food store. You can also use a worm blower, which freshwater bass fishermen use to weight artificial rubber worms and also night crawlers, live night crawlers. If you can't find any of those items, again, don't despair. After you put the hole in this lure, you can just run it under the tap and hold it up to the light, and it is opaque. Most of them you can see through, and you'll be able to check the water level that way. Next, you need a large nail, and I'll explain why you need a nail later on when I complete the last process of the weighting process. Also, you need a large sewing needle to put the hole into the redfin. You need a cup of water and a candle, and split ring pliers and different type hooks that are on the existing redfin, and we'll get into that after we weight it. But the first procedure in weighting this lure is to get your large sewing needle, grab it with a pair of pliers, heat it on the candle, get it nice and hot, because you're going to be putting a hole into the body of this redfin. It is hollow, as I said. You're going to be putting the hole, the small hole, right up near the head area. Now, this redfin is made in half. There is a seam right down the middle of the plug. It's glued, so you don't want to put the hole on that seam. You want to go on either side of the seam in the head area, right up near the eyes. And you just get your hot needle and just put the hole in that easy. It is plastic, and the needle goes through it very easily when it's heated. Now the next step is get your needle and syringe, or worm blower, or some type of syringe, you know, that they use for basting meat, and you fill it with water. Now this syringe is exactly 10 cc's, and which makes it a lot easier because you only need one shot with this particular syringe. With anything else that you use, you may need to do more or less, depending on their size. But stick the needle into the redfin and just put the water right into the hollow lure. Now, 10 cc's seems to be the magic number. 10 cc's will come up holding the redfin in this manner. 10 cc's of water will come up right below the middle hook hanger, and if you hold it up to the light, you will see it plainly. That seems to be the magic number. Don't put any more or any less, because you, with 10 cc's, you get the appropriate action. It casts well, and it has, you know, it has the best versatility when you fish it in rough water, which is why you alter this lure, by the way. The water weight adds casting distance, makes it a much better casting lure. Right out of the package, the Cordell 7-inch redfin weighs about an ounce. It doesn't cast well. With the water, it casts much better, and it weighs about 1 ounce and 3/4. Also, with the water weight, you enhance the action. Actually, you make the lure swim more like a Danny type swimmer. It has a nice rock and roll and wobble to it. Also, with the added weight, you can fish it in all different type situations: rip water, rough water. So it makes it a much more versatile lure, and the striped bass seem to love it. Now, the next step, after you put the water in and you determine that it's at the appropriate level in the lure, you grab your nail with the pliers and you heat the nail. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to use the hot nail to melt the plastic around the hole that you made for weighting purposes, and what that does is it seals the lure and the water will not leak out. There are other ways of doing this, but this seems to be the best. Some guys used to stick a wooden toothpick in the hole, bust it off, and then glue it with some super glue or 5-minute epoxy. The melting of the plastic around the hole seems to work best. You got to heat this nail up quite a bit because you really want to quickly melt the plastic around that hole. Like so. You just touch it, just go right down on the hole and push the existing plastic around the hole right into that hole, and that will form a great seal. Like so. Now, the next step is let that cool off a little bit, and then tip the redfin upside down just to make sure it's not leaking. Hold it in this manner, or if you're weighting several of them, just put them, hook them up on something in that position and make sure they're not leaking. And if you really want to get classy about it, you can just get your hook file and just go over that melted spot to make it a little better looking. And that's it. That's how you weight the redfin. Now, another point of interest is when you're storing these lures, don't store them with the head down. Store them with the tail down. For example, if you're going out fishing or you're putting these weighted redfins in your lure box or lure bag, keep them in this position. That way they won't leak. Now, to make the lure even better, you have to change the hooks. The hooks on the existing lure right out of the package aren't good. A 20-pound striped bass will straighten them right out. It's amazing how much leverage a big striped bass can exert on treble hooks. So what I do is I use treble hooks by VMC. They're 4 extra strong, and this is why you need the split ring pliers. Just take the split rings and the hooks right off the lure. Like so. You get your replacement VMC 4 extra strong 2-aught hooks, and just put them on the split rings. And believe me, split ring pliers do aid in this procedure. Put the split rings on. Oh, and by the way, the existing split rings on the 7-inch redfin are very good. You really don't need to change the split rings. They are heavy duty, and I don't see the need to change those. Just the hooks. Changing the hooks will result in a lot less broken heart. Like so. Then you grab your weighted lure and you just put the split rings right on. And that completes the modification and the weighting. Good luck.